Thank you for being here today. I'm Brian Johnson, President and Founder of Energy Tech Innovations. I appreciate this opportunity very much. I'm going to be telling you about ETI's biogas energy solution for the marketplace. So let's get started. We know that biogas is a substantial recoverable energy resource. It's produced from landfills, wastewater treatment plants, ag digesters, and other sources. But there's issues with using the biogas. It can be corrosive, containing contaminants that increase the maintenance cost between 30 and 50%. Also, it's more complex to integrate this equipment into facilities, being more costly. Together, this can create marginal economics, and sometimes the biogas is just simply flared. And this is a shame. This is a tremendous resource. However, ETI has a solution. It has a low-cost method to convert biogas into renewable natural gas using this low-cost method. This way, sites can use upgrade gas to use it singly for a particular use, or it can be used for multiple uses for electric generation, thermal processes such as boilers, kilns, dryers. It can also be used for transportation fuel and pipeline injection. ETI can make marginal projects economical projects. That's because ETI's patent pending process is more than 30% less costly as compared to other biogas upgrading systems, including other water wash systems, pressure swing absorption, membranes, and other systems. However, ETI uses a low-risk technology. It's a most common used process that used around the world for upgrading biogas into renewable natural gas. So ETI uses the same basic parameters in terms of pressure, temperature, contact time, and surface area. We can call this a low-risk proposition. A few more details about ETI's process. It's been re-engineered to be more modular and compact and uses lower cost materials. It has unique features both internally and externally, making it patent pending. The cost of this, I've already mentioned, 30% less costly. It can have a payback of as low as 2 to 3 years. Additionally, the revenue from the CO2 off gas can provide alkalinity and phosphorus control. No other system in the market right now is going after this. That can offer several $100,000 of benefit. So this all adds to the value proposition. The total market in the U.S. is about $20 billion. ETI is going to focus on 10% or $2 billion market. Within that segment, ETI will focus on wastewater treatment plants and secondarily on ag digesters and landfills. The reason for the wastewater treatment plants is because they have the water and they need to use the energy, and they can use it for multiple uses. There are several market drivers, including federal and state incentives. The majority of the states require mandates for using renewable energy, and the corporate sustainability programs. And also from a worldwide perspective, there's a Paris Climate Accord was signed by 195 nations to reduce greenhouse gases by more than 30%. And that's significant. Oh, wrong way, sorry. So biogas fits into this environmental solution by providing 50 to 100% reduction in greenhouse gases. That's a significant way that biogas can be valuable to this market. ETI has more than 25 years of experience in this marketplace. It helped engineering, developing projects that have invested over $100 million in biogas energy uses, including digesters, pipeline injection, large-scale electric generation, thermal processes with industries, compressor stations, and even microturbine applications. Right now, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee has been doing model simulations, and these have basically have been able to target 98% methane. That's our target for creating natural gas grade quality. And all these simulations here are landing right on the 98%. So we feel very good about the ability for this model simulations to be able to make natural gas grade quality. We've been able to increase the methane from 65% all the way up to 98% and even higher. So we plan to use this information for pilot planning and implementation of a pilot later this year. Over the first 2 years of ETI's efforts, we focused on initial design work, patent submittals for both the U.S. market and international. To date, we've received positive feedback on the patent submittals for the PCT board. We feel very good about that technology and the IP that's going with that. We're going to be moving into pilot planning, and also I hope to have full system sale design before end of 2018, which brings us hopefully to commercial licensing by mid-2018. Well, for us to get there, we'd have about $1.5 million in sales the first year, starting off in 2018. We expect revenue to double year by year in a strong sales market. Our EBITDA would be about $1.8 million by year 3, and would grow with our sales accordingly. But for us to be able to get there, we need help to stay on a fast-track process. And we're looking for a strategic partnership to help fund $500,000 for piloting and pre-commercialization activities. So with that, thank you very much for your attention. I look forward to any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Sharks, any questions? Teresa?
What kind of strategic partnership are you looking for?
It could be a technology. What I'm really looking for is it could be an angel investor first to help us get going, but really the next step would for us to be to latch on to a technology company. We want to get into the marketplace as quickly as possible. There's a lot of companies out there that have pack tower design technology that are in this space, and we can feel we can best get in the marketplace by joining one of these companies to get it there quickly.
I thought what I heard you say was relative to the process that you use sort of the standard parameters and well-established technology and it's low risk. So what's the differentiation?
Differentiation is several unique features I mentioned both internally and externally. It's also the lower cost materials we use. We can cut, in combination of those factors, we can cut the cost by more than 30%. In fact, I meant to give an example in my presentation that just this last week I was in conversation with a facility that has a multi-million-dollar budget. We believe that we could cut between 1/3, 1/2 that cost by using this technology because of the lower cost and also the ability to use the gas more flexibly at a facility that has multiple uses. So that's...
Could I ask a follow-up? It looked like you said the business model was commercial licensing. And when I hear commercial licensing, I'm thinking licensing technology and take royalties in, but I get the sense that's not what you're referring to.
What we'd like to do is commercialize it and then join the company to help get it out in the marketplace. So that's really, I'm motivated. This has been an area I've worked in all my life. I've done a lot of this work and want to get this technology out there.
Yes.
I'll piggyback on the value prop thing. I mean, help me out. You clearly know this vastly better than me. Why is this any different than the biomass plant ideas that I think everybody in this middle section has seen multiple times come up one way or another over the past 10 years?
There's a couple things. One is that I'll use the example of wastewater treatment plant. Every piece of equipment requires that you have to make modifications to that equipment, costing hundreds. It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, the same discussion I had with this facility was it's $500,000 to change each piece of equipment. I can do it by upgrading the biogas. I can just blend the gas into the entire system, and they don't need to modify each piece of equipment. That's one way of being a solution for a facility. The other part about this is that the materials I'm using are so much less costly than what's available in the market today. That's how I can achieve more than 30% reduction in cost, capital cost. And that can be a big difference between making marginal projects, marginal economics, to being economical.
Do you work any government subsidies into your projections?
No, I do not. No, I do not. Although there's different value propositions. Just very quickly on this, there's value propositions on boilers, cogeneration, transportation fuel. I will say the transportation fuel market is worth 5 times the value of what it is in terms of natural gas. So trucking fleets and so on, that's one area that's significant value.
Okay.
I was going to ask, when you talk about the reclamation of the off-gas as a revenue stream, that's to your customer?
So there's companies like Praxair, Linde, Air Products. They sell liquid CO2. They sell that. It's liquid CO2 is one of the best buffering chemicals that can be used for buffering at a wastewater treatment plant. Wastewater treatment plants have to spend sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for chemical additions. The CO2 from this process can be brought right in back into the water and act as a buffering agent, and no one else is right now is in the market proposing this.
So, other questions? Anyone? Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.